Hey guys, we're here. It's the start of a new era for us. We're officially announcing the Reviewing History Patreon.
It's here.
It's
time.
It's queer.
We did it,
Get
boys.
used to it.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Unless it is.
Unless this is a spectacular failure and I will be mocked by my co-host relentlessly. Don't let me get mocked.
We're gonna mock you anyway.
But the
but-
mocking of a failure is so much worse. Reviewinghistory.com. I'm sorry, bandcamp.com/reviewinghistory. On reviewinghistory.com, I'm sure there's a link to it.
To the Patreon.
But patreon.com/reviewinghistory. There's a bunch of different tiers there. I'm not going to bore you with the details.
Check
Look,
it out.
Check
on
it
the
out.
website.
Find out which one suits you
Our
best.
audience is smart enough to figure this out. They love history. They know we're the funniest. Get on it.
It's the
Great.
best. It's a great Patreon.
You're going to get
So
multiple
much
shows
and
per
more.
month that no one else is going to get. You're going to be
Ever.
mad exclusive.
Who wants you? You get
You
more
can
ants in
force
your
us
life.
to talk with you if you want.
Yeah.
You can undercut us and sell our stuff for cheaper.
The power is yours. Take it. It's yours. We are lions.
All right. But check it out, reviewinghistory.com. Sorry, no, I keep doing that. God fucking damn it. I'm a fucking idiot.
In
Bandcamp.com. Reviewing history. Bandcamp.com/reviewing history.
In all seriousness, folks, we're trying to make something happen, and we would love for you to be a part of it with us.
Yeah.
So please
Yeah.
check us out on the website. Thank you.
Check it out.
I said Bandcamp. I have fucked this up like 8 times.
You know what? Just go on the
Bandcamp.com/reviewing history.
No, that's where the Christmas pod is.
Not there.
It's
Delete what I just said.
patreon.com/reviewing
Flash this on the
history.
screen.
Patreon.com/reviewing
Breathe.
history. Patreon.com/reviewing history. Patreon.com/reviewing history. Do you think they know it?
One more time.
Patreon.com/reviewing history.
It's going to be great when that exists already and we forgot to buy the domain.
I bought it already. Hey, get them. Where should they go?
Patreon.com/reviewing history.
You heard it
He's
from
not
Get
on-
'em.
No,
Top
you
five.
probably didn't.
Top 5.
You probably didn't. He wasn't on mic.
Top 5. Patreon.com/reviewing history.
That's good. Hello, you're listening to Reviewing History, your comedy history podcast. I'm filmmaker and teacher Brian Rupert, joined here by.
You pointed at him. I don't know.
Hi,
I
I'm
was just
Angie.
kind of generally pointing.
All right.
And Stephen W. Go hi. As always.
What's
Yeah,
up?
there you go.
What's up?
What's up, guys?
Yeah.
Well, you know, not
First
much.
movie of the year.
Yeah.
First man
We
of the
did it.
year.
First man.
First man.
First of many men I'm sure we'll have this year.
Many, many men. That's like a 50 Cent song.
Many men
They wish death.
wish death upon me.
Yeah.
Lord, I don't cry no more. Don't look to the sky no more.
Your rhythm, it's
Just so good.
Yeah.
it's shocking you didn't make it.
The world really missed. What an artist the world loses in me. You know who said that?
No.
Nero, when he died.
Really? That was his last words?
Yes.
Did Nero do anything good?
Not really.
Okay.
Eventually, there was a really cool CD burner named Nero.
That's true.
That's probably the best thing.
They
And do
named
you remember this? Do you remember the icon for it?
It was a
Burning
fire.
Coliseum.
Yeah. Yeah. It was for burning CDs.
Well,
They named it
you're
after
burning,
Nero.
yeah.
It was clever.
It is clever.
Dark, but clever.
Hmm.
Little Nero's is the pizzeria in Home Alone.
That's true.
That's dark. too.
Yes.
Setting,
Yeah.
setting fire to that cheese, you know. But we're not here for that today.
No.
In Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, they changed Caesar's Palace, the casino, into Caligula's Palace.
That's funny, though.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. First Man,
First Man.
2018.
This is a movie I wanted to see in theaters.
You didn't.
I didn't get to.
It's rare.
Just like kind of wherever it came out, it just
Was this
wasn't
one of those
around long
COVID
enough.
movies?
no,
No,
it's
2018. It was pre-COVID. I just didn't happen to get to see it, and I wanted to. And after
You wanted that dreamboat of Gosling on the big screen.
I'm a big Gosling fan.
Are you?
Yeah, I think he's a great actor. But
It's good in this.
when I was watching it on my TV, I was like, God damn it! I wish I saw this in theaters.
Probably
Because
beautiful on the
yeah.
big screen.
it probably looked so fucking good. Because I thought it looked good on my TV, but in the theater, I'm sure it like looked
Different.
amazing.
It looked
yeah.
great, but I'll tell you this. This falls into a filming trend that I absolutely despise,
Oh my god, I think I agree with you.
and it's the zoomed in shaky cam,
I agree with you.
which was a trend for a couple of years, and I hate it so much. Like, why do I got to watch a movie and be like, what's over there? You
It
know,
gives a good feel for this though.
Well,
this is
it
used
works better in this
correctly.
than it
Yeah.
does in most things.
Yeah, I think this it is actually serving a purpose.
Yeah,
Because how
actually
do you
thought,
convey
yeah.
the ship is?
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
This
I thought you were
movie,
going to say
um,
something else about this era of film.
No, go
that-
ahead.
So I don't mind the shaky stuff when it's useful. This is like shaky when it should be shaky.
Yeah.
You're in a fucking rocket.
Yeah.
It's shaky.
The X-15.
This was the trend coming off like the early 2010s of dark and broody dialogue sessions. The Dark Knight stuff, the Joker stuff, like all that, like feel like it culminated here, where it was like really little dialogue, and when it was really subtle.
They definitely use dialogue
I don't like it.
sparingly in the
Well,
movie.
I
don't like
think
it.
that's also Ryan Gosling loves that when he acts like
Oh yeah,
if he. So
I
it's
hate
funny.
that.
He does either comedies where he's like really funny and
Mhm.
good, or like he plays like
A stoic, yeah.
really well. Like in the movie,
literally me.
in the word. I've seen you wear the jacket from Drive
I'm
Around.
not even talking about me. That's like a thing on the internet.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying you wear the jacket,
Literally me.
the
Yeah.
jacket from Drive.
Yeah, yeah.
But the Drive, he says like maybe like less than 200 words the entire movie.
Oh yeah.
I think he might have said less than 200 in this.
Well, supposedly Neil Armstrong was very
Right.
stoic and quiet.
Yes, this is.
It's an ode to stoicism.
Yeah,
And it's like, you know that meme, men would rather do blank than like go to therapy.
yeah.
It's like men would rather be
Go
the
to the
first
moon.
person to
I gotta
go
go.
to the moon.
I
than
gotta go
to therapy.
stand out in my yard when I'm feeling upset and just fucking
Look at the
hate.
stars. And
Um,
brood. I need to brood.
I watched an interview with his son.
Neil?
Yeah, and he was saying how that's how he was. Like this is
So he
this
got
is
it right.
legit. Yeah.
Okay. That makes me feel
He
better.
was known like to be like almost superhuman in his ability to stay cool under pressure.
You would have
you
to.
know,
If you're an
yeah.
astronaut, that's kind of a key
Right.
thing.
He's
you
the
need.
anti-Buzz though.
He is the anti-Buzz.
Because Buzz is like all
Angry.
personality and, like,
in this or in real life?
in
'Cause
real life.
in real
Like
life.
Buzz is like a cocky
Yeah.
hotshot guy.
yeah.
And Neil is just so quiet.
Mhm.
You know? Where it's like we've all seen Buzz on interviews and shit. I ain't never seen Neil Armstrong
I
talk
love
in my
Buzz.
life.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never seen Neil other than like stuff footage from the 60s.
Yeah.
You know, he never really came out and talked a lot throughout his life. I remember when he died. That was
2012.
yeah.
You know how he died?
No.
Bypass surgery failed.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a
Oh.
botch.
Poor Buzz. Poor Neil.
Poor Buzz is still
Buzz
alive.
is still kicking.
I tried to get him to
Punching.
tell him
Buzz
Steve
is
Dave.
punching.
You
You tried to
tell
get
him
Buzz
to tell him Steve
Aldrin?
Dave?
That'd be a hell of a get.
Walt tasked me with
Trying to
getting
get
Buzz Aldrin.
Buzz Aldrin.
And I
You should got Chuck Yeager before he kicked the bucket too.
Chuck Yeager
Yeah.
broke the speed of sound, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. But I contacted Buzz's manager and spoke with him,
Mhm.
and I tried to get Buzz to show up, and Buzz was like,
No.
"No,
No.
fucking showed up to this stupid podcast."
Yeah.
I spoke to the manager. I got pretty
Yeah, you got
close.
close. You
You should try getting him for us.
Yeah. He's not gonna do that. He'll do us.
Yeah, he's not gonna do.
That would be really
he's not gonna
funny.
do the show with
Hey,
the,
I mean, we're history.
the show with the Impractical Joker, which will like help the Buzz
Mhm.
Foundation and like maybe they could get money,
Hmm.
or the show with three dickheads.
We could have gave him like $100.
I'd pay $100 to talk with Buzz.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Not $100 each. $100 collectively from the
yeah.
podcast.
Oh yeah,
First man.
First man.
X-15.
Mm-hmm.
Space plane.
This opening really
Pretty sick.
pretty sick. Yeah. So this was real.
Yeah.
He did go do this test jet that like bounced off the fucking atmosphere, and he was like what 207,000 feet in the air. He goes to descend, it bounces off, and he has to like work some magic to get this thing back to.
I should have looked this
landing.
up. He was in the war, right? He was a fighter pilot.
Neil Armstrong
Yeah.
in World War II?
Yeah.
He was civilian.
Oh,
Was he
maybe I'm
not?
wrong. Maybe he
Because
was.
in the movie they say like civilian, and he's like, yeah.
I should have looked this up.
Well, luckily, we have a laptop right there.
Yes,
We
and-
have phones. We have access to all the
The
information.
internet is down. Give me a second.
Oh no!
What timing? In the movie, he says it's civilian. I don't know. I didn't really dig into it.
Do you know what the first man-made object to leave the atmosphere ever was?
Man-made?
Sputnik?
I thought it was a
No.
balloon.
No. It is a shell from the Paris gun, which was a giant cannon that the
Oh,
Germans
just-
made to shell Paris. Yeah.
So they shot it and it went too far.
It is the first thing to ever leave the atmosphere. It came back down. But
Do you
That
think
makes a lot of sense.
They were
Yeah.
like, that was when they were like, oh, this is possible.
Probably like, oh, if you go fast enough, you can leave.
I always think about that because if you look at like depictions from before the rocketry was a thing.
Like when you look at that
My-
silent film.
Well, that's what I was about to bring up
Yeah.
was Trip to the
Trip to
Moon.
the moon. Yeah. 1910.
If the way they get there is they get
rockets.
shot out of a giant
Yeah.
cannon.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they knew. They
Yeah.
knew that if you
Right.
do it,
Yeah.
Neil was born in 1930, so there's
Oh,
no
so
way.
yeah, he wasn't.
he's
no.
civilian.
Okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
He was in the Navy.
You can sell the 7 Seas.
In the Navy.
But he was out of the military by the time
Mm.
he got to this, obviously, because we see him as a test pilot.
Yeah.
So this goes wrong, the flight, and you kind of get like an interlude in between the next career change.
Well, I
where
like
it
real
shows
quick.
his daughter.
Real quick before that, I
Sure.
love the way the movie is filmed and directed. Damien Chazelle directed it.
What else did he do?
He did La La Land, Babylon, but the movie that you guys may have seen from his that I think is fantastic is Whiplash.
Love Whiplash.
Phenomenal movie.
Watched it recently. Yeah.
You had
spoke
never
about
seen
it.
it?
No.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
It's so good. Yeah.
You would love it.
Ant would hate it.
I don't know. what
Why?
that
I
is.
think it's great.
I think I understand Ant's sensibilities when he's watching something. I don't think he's into that.
I think he would like it.
What's
I
it
think
about?
It's just a great movie.
A drummer.
It's
just about how
it's basically this kid wants to be like a jazz drummer, like high level.
Is that the movie where
J.K.
J. Jonah Jameson is yelling at people?
Yeah,
I've seen some clips from that. It looked pretty good.
it's
Oh,
fucking
okay. Maybe you
awesome.
would like
Yeah.
it.
I'm telling you would love it. It's
Yeah.
great. I love all of his movies. I'm a big fan of his. So that was another reason I wanted to see this in theaters, and I was
Mhm.
upset I didn't get to. But
La La Land
I think
too.
he's great.
La La Land was done really well.
Yeah,
Won
I
a
think
bunch
he's
of
an awesome
awards.
director. Babylon's a lot of fun too. We could
I
kind of
see
do it on the
Babylon.
show.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Is that about Hammurabi?
No, it's about Hollywood it's about the silent film era, like the rise and fall of it.
Oh.
Just the contrast between the two is funny.
Babylon sister, shake
What
it.
was that? What was that fucking guitarist? Midnight.
Oh,
Remember
Midnight.
that-
He's
remember
great.
that song?
Yeah.
Welcome to Babylon. What song was bad?
Miss Katie.
So bad. That was a great song. but Babylon sucked.
What about the fucking one where he's riding a camel through the desert? It's called Berber Tribes or something. And he's like, I'm gonna ride this camel.
He didn't do that. He
Yeah, he
didn't do
did.
a lot of great stuff. No, I'm saying he didn't do a lot of great stuff. but when
Midnight-
it is great, it's
Midnight
good.
Rocks. I think
Yeah.
he's dead.
He did die, yeah.
Poor
Rest
guy.
in peace, rest in peace.
R.I.P. Midnight.
Yeah, R.I.P.
But yeah, Soviets were the first people in space.
Yes. Well, they sent up the dog, right?
They sent up the dog and then they killed it.
Can you name the dog?
No,
I believe Layla.
Layla the dog.
Yeah.
Poor
Okay.
Layla.
Soviets love killing dogs. They used
Didn't they
to
send up monkeys too?
Yeah.
probably.
They sent up a bunch of animals that didn't make it.
They
out.
used to train dogs to run under German tanks and blow up.
They tried to train dolphins, I believe, right?
I think
we
that
did.
was
Yeah,
us.
we
I think
tried
that was the
making
Americans.
dolphins, which also
But Yuri
evil.
Gagarin, the first man in space,
They show him in this,
cosmonaut.
right?
Is he featured in the film?
I think they show like some footage of him.
Is
like,
he the one that burnt up in the atmosphere, or is that the first astronaut that made it back?
No, he made it back.
Yeah.
There's one that burnt up in the atmosphere. There's one that did not make it
A
back.
lot of these
The
guys
first-
died,
like
and we'll
the
talk
first-
about it.
I believe the first one in space did not come back alive.
The
first
dog.
one no, a person. Like
Oh,
they sent the
no.
person up and he died. I don't remember the exact.
There's a
timeline of
person.
it.
There's a person stranded.
I saw
um,
the aftermath pictures. It's not fun.
The first American in space was Alan Shepard.
Alan who?
Alan Shepard.
Okay.
He spent a grand total of 15 minutes in space before he came back down. And when Kennedy issued his famous,
We go to the
decree,
moon.
yes, by the end of the decade,
Yeah.
he's going to go to the moon. The United States
We
had
go
a
to the moon not because it is easy,
yes.
As it is
because it's
hard.
like me when I see Mimi Beardsley and Marilyn Monroe and any number of women who are not my wife.
Thank you, President
Very good,
Kennedy.
very good.
But yeah, America had a grand total of 15 minutes of manned space experience when he made that declaration. So this is a tall order.
He called a shot.
He did. Where are we at in the film?
Well, we're right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get introduced to his family.
And sometimes when you call your shot,
Oh
Mhm.
no.
just when you're putting it all out there and you're making a big proclamation and you're calling your shot, it's important that you have people that believe in you and support your vision. So, if you want to help us support our vision, go to patreon.com/reviewinghistory.
Wow, early.
Yeah, hit them now and I'll hit them early. And check it out. This week we got a Seinfeld school dropout with me and Steve
Oh god.
going over the first episode of Seinfeld.
Nice.
But yeah, check out the Patreon reviewing history. Patreon.com/reviewing history.
Mm-hmm.
But in the movie, now we cut back to, their regular lives.
Sick kid.
His daughter.
We got a sick
Yeah.
kid.
He crash lands in the desert
Yeah.
and they're kind of mad at him.
Yeah.
Well, he destroyed a very expensive jet.
Experimental jet.
Experimental, but expensive.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're grounded, or they want to ground him. They don't tell him yet.
Imagine
Well,
like
they have to investigate it.
how much this would have fucked up the public. Like
What?
seeing all these crazy looking aircraft that like nobody knows what the hell it is.
That was
Just-
Area 51.
I know.
Yeah.
But
The
like,
drones.
Yeah.
well, yeah. We
potentially.
got drones now.
Do we? They're gone.
They vanished.
Yeah, it's like it never fucking happened.
I know. It'll get memory hold and no one will ever talk about
Well,
it.
everyone
again.
found out what they were, and they're like, "Well, jig is up," and then they stopped.
I wonder if they purposely did it right before Christmas. So like we'll swarm the skies before Christmas. Christmas will come, everyone will get swept up.
You
and
think
then
they were
they'll
trying
run.
to take out Santa?
No, I think that they were just
You
like,
think they got him?
no, Santa can't be beaten. Santa can't be bought.
He's like Iron Maiden.
Yes. Oh well, wherever, no matter how far, Santa's gonna bring you presents.
I think they found what they were looking for. Let's say that.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
We found who we're looking for.
So-
But it cuts to a test on his kid. And I was like, oh shit, we're doing kid cancer within the first like 10 minutes of the movie.
I didn't know this.
I
Did you?
didn't know any of this, but I
no.
texted this to you guys. I was like,
it's hard. It's
you're
deep.
not ready for how heavy this movie is. Because
Yeah.
I was like, oh, a biopic about Neil Armstrong,
Yeah,
and
this
it's
will be
like,
fun.
no,
So
it's
glad they
about
follow
this guy
program.
dealing with his dead kid, basically.
Oh my god.
I mean, a part of that, a huge part of that is losing his child.
Yeah.
But he was doing this anyway.
Apparently,
I don't think it changed his trajectory.
she died on their anniversary, and for the rest of their lives, they never celebrated their anniversary. They never talked about it. This comes from Neil's son. This is from the interview I saw.
That's
with him.
rough.
He's like, it just never was talked about.
They
at
got
all.
divorced in the 90s.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, and he got a new wife.
It seemed like a rocky.
Why the fuck?
marriage.
He would have been in his 70s. Yeah.
Doesn't want to waste his last fucking.
What the fuck are you doing, Neil?
Wants some strange those last couple years.
This opening moves very fast, and rightfully so. In my note, I was like, "Oh, he has a sick kid. Never mind." It was like scene after is her burial,
Yeah.
her funeral, and it's like, "Oh my gosh, this is hard." And he's like, "You know what? I'm gonna go to work."
You go right
that's
back.
how.
at work.
Yeah, that's how he fucking dealt with it.
That's how he was.
I mean, if you're gonna go to the moon, I feel like you need that mentality.
Yeah,
he-
you got to be
you
a
know,
bit of a fucking maniac.
he's insanely good at
I wouldn't say maniac. Yeah,
Mhm.
I would say so extremely focused that
Yeah.
nothing else matters.
Right.
Which is to us, it's a maniac, I guess. But
I love the way he talks to his sons.
robotic.
It's so fucking
It's
funny.
robotic.
It's like he's doing a press conference.
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah.
It's all
Especially at the
facts.
end, like they think he may
Yes.
die.
You're
and
right.
He's just like,
He's like, we're very confident that we will make it.
If everything goes right, we got a lot of good people on this. And the son doesn't even react in a well. We'll get there, but he's kind of like, "You're right, father. Let me get a firm handshake."
Yeah, well, that's what the son was like. He's like, this was just normal. This is what we did, and that was exactly the conversation I had. With him.
now offspring spawn. Give me a firm handshake and look me in the eye.
was he an alien? Was Neil Armstrong an alien?
Well, spell it backwards.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
Whoa. What? Neela?
Alien
And it's an anagram.
Yeah, it's Neil.
from Mongo.
Yes, anagram for Mongo.
Great Rush song.
Really a song no one cares about.
Because
I don't even care about that song.
I couldn't tell you how it goes.
Oh, well,
I think
I'm
it's an
gonna blow his
instrumental.
mind. Neil A period backwards. Alien. No. All right. He didn't get it.
Well, it's Neela. You can't just like
Backwards. God.
I
No,
understand.
let's keep going.
It's Neela. It's not Neil.
He's saying backwards.
Yeah.
A dot. Like G dot Anthony.
Neil A.
Well, he sees a NASA ad at work while he's grounded, and it's like, we're looking for astronauts.
And he's like, I'm grounded. Fuck you guys.
I'm going to NASA. Yeah.
Mm.
And he goes to the interview and he meets
This is one of my
Elliot
favorite
C.
scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
Elliot C.
What, right in the beginning?
It's early, but in the interview, I love when he's like talking to them, and like you could see they want to try to needle him,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and like one of the guys asked him like the dickhead question: "Are you
Mhm.
going to be affected because of the death of your daughter?"
That's not a dickhead question at all.
No, that's not a thing. That's
way-
something they need to know.
They need to know.
The way
yeah.
they,
How are you going to react to this?
well, the way they asked
He goes, "I'm
it-
sorry to hear about your daughter," and he goes, "I'm sorry. Is there a question?"
Yeah, exactly. And then he's like, "Well, we just need to see how if it'll have an effect on you." And I think he goes, I love his line. It would be an unreasonable expectation
Yeah.
to say it would have no effect on me.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. He's not lying.
Yeah, it's like,
That's a good answer.
but I
Yeah.
love like he's so stoic with
Mhm.
it too.
Yeah.
'Cause
Where you could tell he's like a little pissed that you're even
Yeah.
fucking asking.
He's
me this.
Neil. He doesn't fuck around.
This is an ode to stoicism, the movie.
Yes. Yes. And just being a fucking man.
Yeah. Being the first man.
Being the first man.
It's a huge ode to that, yeah. And the importance of actual sacrifices cannot go understated.
This movie
Oh,
rocked.
I love this
Yeah,
movie.
Yeah,
I liked it a
rocked.
lot.
It rocked.
I
A little
wasn't,
boring at times, but it rocks.
I wasn't sure how you would feel about it, Steve.
The dialogue could have been better. That's all.
The door to desk it all.
It's just a little. I feel like there could have been more dialogue, but if that's how he was, it makes more sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's stoic. So he gets the gig,
Yeah, he gets the job.
and now we're in Houston, and they're
Mission control.
kind of going over the plan for how they would dock.
Project Gemini.
Well, yeah. So
There's two
they
projects.
they
There's two-
realize
Well, they show like a little cartoon.
Werner von Braun, of course, of Operation Paperclip fame.
Yes.
The man who invented the V2 rocket.
Who put the first object into space, I
yeah.
guess, right?
No,
may or
no,
may
that
not
was
have worked
wrong.
for a specific political party.
He is now working for the Americans as a rocket scientist. And he obviously the most obvious way that you can get a rocket to the moon would be send up a spacecraft and have it land directly on the moon. Now, this is, I suppose, in theory possible. However, it will require a massive, massive spacecraft
And a lot
with
of fuel.
an insane amount of fuel. It's not practical. So, working off of von Braun's, for what he began, the next guy in line, I forget his name. I think I wrote it down. I hope I wrote it down. Hang on. Damn it. I don't think I did. But it's a famous guy.
German.
No, American.
Oh.
You'll know his name if you said it, but he comes up with the idea that rather than send up one solid spacecraft,
Mhm.
you do it in pieces.
Mhm.
So you get it up in the air, and then the two, you'd have a space capsule that I think they called the LEM.
Yes, the lunar exploration module.
Yes, that's the literal thing that'll go.
Well, there was
on
also
the moon.
we launched in '90s the LEN, and the plan of that was to
The
steal the sunshine.
steal it all. And then the CSM, which is the command and service module, right? So these two things are going to be what actually travels to the moon. The CSM will orbit it, and then the LEM will land on the lunar surface, right? Whereas the rocket itself will be discarded back on Earth, like once you leave the
Yeah, you
Earth's
dump
atmosphere,
it.
right? So before they can get to Apollo is the
The lunar mission.
attempts to go to the moon, right? They go through 16 crewed missions in space, the Mercuries and the Geminis.
Mhm.
And all of that is just preparing and figuring out how you actually make this happen.
Right.
How
It's
to go
all-
about it.
Yeah.
How
it's
does the
all
launch
just
work?
right.
How does the
testing shit.
disconnection work? How does the connection work?
Mhm.
Each one, and then you have to do it multiple times, 2 or 3 times each one, to make sure like the electronics are working and functioning, especially and on top of that, you can't just send up like a brand new rocket, right? You have to make sure that thing works. So you have to also do like
They have to invent the Saturn
right,
V, which is the largest rocket ever. It's essentially a giant building that gets shot into space.
Yeah. Giant metal dick into the heavens. I stole it from Joe Rogan. I'm not gonna fucking take that one.
I've seen
Saturn
one.
V?
They have one in the Smithsonian.
Really?
Yeah, it's like right in the.
It's sideways? I'm guessing.
No, it's in the building.
Oh, really? It's
Yeah,
like
they
just-
fucking they got.
I've
that
always
shit.
wanted to go to the Smithsonian.
It's fucking amazing. It's awesome.
I want to stay overnight.
What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because then you could hang out with
You know,
Amelia
do
Earhart,
the-
Teddy Roosevelt,
If you do the Met, they got the Egypt wing.
Oh.
That'll be really fun overnight.
Emotep.
Mhm.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
What's his name? Hank Azaria.
Hank Azaria, yes.
Yeah.
That's
He's very funny in that. I saw that recently, the second one.
really.
Yeah,
It's fun. You know,
it's not a great movie, but there's some funny.
I
stuff in
like
it.
them. They're not
Yeah,
good.
I
but
like
I
them.
like
It's
I
them.
not
like
for
them
you.
too.
It's not for you, right?
It's not for me.
Night at the Museums.
I like Night at the Museum. I like the first one.
No, I'm saying, but they're like kids' movies, right?
Yeah, I suppose. It was fun.
It's so funny. I'm trying to find out who replaced.
He didn't
Braun.
replace him. He worked with him.
But it's like they mention Werner von Braun, and then they don't have like the person that like helped him like develop this shit.
Boy.
Doesn't matter anymore.
We
We're
don't
past
care.
it.
Yeah,
We're
we're
past it.
gone.
We're a fucking shitty show.
I like
Sorry.
Herman Obreth.
That ain't it.
good try though.
He's not a German.
That was the first name I happened to see that I thought I could use.
We get some nice training scenario here, where it's like, we're gonna spin you violently on
Right
3
round,
axes,
baby.
Well, not like a record baby.
and then
Well-
you have to stabilize it and before you pass out.
Well, we also
Yes.
got to talk real quick about where the American space program is at this point. We're super
shitty.
behind.
The Soviets are beating them at everything.
Yeah.
They got the first man in orbit. They've got
First
the
satellite.
first man in space, first satellite.
They're crushing us.
Yes. The reason Kennedy kind of made the declaration we're going to go to the moon is because it's something so astronomically difficult and like eons away from where anyone's at, including the Soviets, that they'd all have to start from scratch.
Exactly.
It would take away the lead that the Soviets have. They'd have to start inventing.
You get to the finish line essentially first.
Well, it levels the playing field. It's like
Yeah.
one country's going to do this. Which one is it going to be?
Or you could just film it on a set.
Oh my god.
Do you believe that?
No. I kind of don't know enough to really.
You better
make-
hope we don't get Buzz in here. You start
He'd
fucking
punch
saying
you in the
shit like
fucking
that.
mouth.
I think he did that before, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yes, he's famous for doing
Yeah, if you doubt the moon landing, he
Yeah.
socks
that.
you in the jaw.
He knocks out doubters.
Would it be surprising if the first one was faked and then we kind of went when we had the tech? That's possible, but it would take a lot of people to keep their mouths shut.
I think-
there would be more proof
So this is
that it was fake.
so
but
I've thought
it
about
looks
this.
questionable.
People that believe the moon landing is fake. This is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Our incompetent government was able to keep a secret
Right.
from the entire world
Right.
for 70 years with no leaks. I refuse to believe it. And,
Yeah, exactly.
and then this is
a lot of people would have been found out.
And I said this to Ant the other day because we spoke briefly about the moon landing. I was like,
Yeah.
if the government, let's say they came out tomorrow
Mhm.
and they're like,
We faked it.
we faked it, we didn't land on
All
the
the
moon,
proof of it being real will come out.
it would immediately flip. And
Yeah.
everybody who's saying we didn't land on the moon
We
would say,
went.
we went, and this is a psyop.
We actually went to Mars.
This is a psyop to discredit us
have a
and like
base.
make us feel bad.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like the whole we didn't go to the moon shit is just like anti-American shit. Like
Probably.
it's those people.
I also
This is
think
the greatest
people-
achievement that
In
this
the history
nation
of
that this
humanity.
nation has ever fucking.
It's the greatest achievement in the history of humanity.
It's up there. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not going to disagree with you.
Yeah. The idea.
They're
is
breaking the
people
surly
love-
bonds of Earth.
People love a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
They'll any conspiracy theory. They'll hop on it, and that's an easy one to do because it's so old. But there are satellite images of the moon, and you see like the tracks and shit left over. So it's like, yeah, clearly we were there.
And it's like, don't you think other countries would have wanted to, like China and
China.
Russia? Don't you think they'd want to like
China.
prove that it's fake?
Right.
Yep.
Like, you know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean? It's like it happened. Like, not everything is a fucking
Yeah.
Yeah.
conspiracy.
I want it to be though. Like that would be so much more fun.
Nah, I like that we fucking went and we did it.
Mm.
But yes, so you get that training where you have to stabilize on those three axes, and it's that's terrifying.
Is
to
that
me.
like the comet rocket?
Comet
Vomit rocket? Something like that? I don't know.
Oh, that has a
Oh.
name.
The machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's like what they nicknamed it. It's essentially like vomit.
Vomit comet. Thank you. Get him.
It's gyros and spindles like spinning you around until
And
you
no
can stabilize.
tzatziki sauce.
You're probably hitting what, like 7 to 11 G's on that fucking thing.
What? My terrible
I assume
joke.
that was Seinfeld. I don't know.
No. it's
No,
just-
you.
it's even worse.
It's
Shut-
Brian.
So Neil gets to pilot Gemini 8, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I thought 7, but you might be right.
8. He's the
Yeah.
commander of 8. He's going to be the first to dock.
To get the two pieces to dock together.
Yeah. And he has to read 604 pages of chapter 1 for rocket science.
Now, this is, of course, very important because if they can't get this right, that means that the men who actually go to the moon will not be able to return home. This is to test to make sure that the Michael Collins flying around the orbit of the moon will be able to pick them up again. Because if you can't do that, then we're gonna have some dead guys.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be very bad.
And I believe you had Elliot C. and that guy Sam on the other rocket they were testing the T-38.
That sounds right.
The T-38 is a Russian tank.
No, like you can look it up on what rocket they were testing when they died.
Gemini 9?
that was Apollo 1.
No,
That was the first Apollo mission. They were doing a dress rehearsal
Mhm.
for the actual they're on the Saturn
Yeah.
V, right?
Yeah.
And there was a fire in the
No,
cabin.
that's not what I'm talking about.
Well, that's what they died on. That's
No,
what-
I know what you're talking about. That's
Right.
not where we are.
Oh.
We're talking about Elliot C., the guy that he met at the interview.
Oh,
They
right.
were
Yes.
testing a
I think that was
rocket
Gemini 7.
plane, not a
Yeah.
The
not-
kid from Almost Famous.
not one that goes into space, just a regular like jet engine plane.
Oh, I think that was the Mercury mission.
and they crashed,
Yeah, which is
and
before
they both
that.
got killed. They crashed into a building, like on a turn.
Yes,
They fucked up.
yes.
I believe they were supposed.
It was
to
a
be,
NASA trainer jet.
Yeah.
It crashed in St. Louis.
All right, Trainer 38 or
Mm.
whatever the hell it's called. I don't remember the exact number.
Gemini 9A was a 1966
Mhm.
crewed space flight in NASA's Gemini program.
Yeah.
That's how the kid from Almost Famous died. Did you
Yeah.
recognize it?
Was that him?
Yeah,
Oh.
Patrick Fugit. Yeah, I was like, oh shit.
Huh? I didn't notice that.
It's like, shouldn't you be watching Zeppelin right now?
So that's why he goes to the funeral, and he gets all angsty and leaves.
Also, but real quick, there's a scene where Neil is like throwing up, right, in the bathroom.
From the,
Yeah.
the training,
From-
yeah.
The bathroom is extraordinarily shitty.
can
Did
just
you notice that?
Well, it's a giant warehouse.
It's like this is NASA.
I assume because it's a warehouse, they really don't care.
It just like it looks like shit, and it also has this could be me looking into something in the movie, but it's a red bathroom, and I was wondering
Ugh.
if that was
There's
a
a reference to The Shining.
is it a reference to
No!
The Shining and Kubrick, and it's a shitty bathroom like that, as like to be like fuck Kubrick, this happened. It's like just like a kind of a weird thing. I don't know.
I just witnessed you hyperextend your shoulder and elbow trying to get that one. That was hard reach, man.
I don't know. I did notice it. It was a very shitty bathroom. I wouldn't want to use.
I just think it's a fucking warehouse where they host a giant thing and that's it.
This is important. Neil has a new baby.
Yes. Yes. And he moved to wherever the fuck they are. I guess.
Houston?
No, it's not. It's got to be Florida, right?
Yeah,
I don't actually. No, it's Cincinnati. They moved to Cincinnati.
They moved to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
That seems very far from the launches, right?
Yeah, and the lunches.
Ow.
Do you know that
It is Cincinnati, right? I'm not just making that up.
You could just be making it up. I feel like it's weird to live in Cincinnati. When
Who
you
doesn't want to live in Cincinnati?
You got a
It's
train in
the
Florida.
jewel of Ohio.
You got a train at
Oh,
in
you like
Florida.
Cincinnati better than Cleveland?
Cleveland sucks.
Cleveland rocks.
No, it doesn't.
motherfucker.
No, it doesn't. And that's
boy.
the
Oh,
propaganda
boy.
that the Clevelandites are putting out there.
Do you know the top
Let's hear
regional dish in Cincinnati?
No.
You really don't know? Do
I
you
had to
know?
say it or
Oh, I want to know. do
no,
you
I don't
know?
give a fuck about Cincinnati.
Chili. Skyline chili. That's like the big thing there.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We're talking about Cincinnati. Do you think we have a listener in Cincinnati who's like, fuck yeah?
Yeah, we're just cursing its name.
You know why Cleveland sucks? Because
Why does Cleveland suck?
that's where the Edmund Fitzgerald was going on that fateful day. And they
It's
never,
too soon.
They
Let's
never
not
made it.
It's way too soon. Too close to my heart. I said, boys, it was good to know ya.
Been nice to know ya.
Neil moved to Houston.
Houston.
That
Okay.
That's why
Yeah,
he's with every
I was
other
just-
Why
astronaut
the
family.
fuck did I think it was Cincinnati?
Because he's from Cincinnati, Neil Armstrong.
Oh, okay.
That's good. That's fine. That's
All
an
right.
honest mistake.
It's just like we're working on the space program at Houston.
Neil, we need you in 2 hours. Can't do it.
I'm in Cincinnati.
Sorry, it's
I got a Reds game.
Does any man know where the love of God goes when the days turn the minutes hours?
they just pack too much, man.
Fucking so
Why
many
they
tons
pack
of
too
iron
much?
ore. Yeah. No, the fucking Witch in November came early.
So we get an idea that like the dynamic between these astronauts isn't all friendly, which I actually like.
They're in competition with each other to get missions done, but they're also working very closely together.
There's a bond,
Yes.
There is,
and I like the
but
way
at
they
the
kind of
funeral,
learn
they kind of
Yeah.
kind of see there's like a disconnect between some of it. you
some
know?
of them, yeah. And I like the scene where they're kind of getting to know Neil a bit better, and they're
Mhm.
like, he wrote musicals,
Oh yeah.
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 and they're like
College
trying to
backwards.
embarrass him when he's
Yeah.
in backwards. He's like, no.
It's like you can't
It's Neil,
you can't stump the Armstrong.
the Armstrong. Did you have an Armstrong doll?
Stretch?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Oh, I had a stretch
I had a
Armstrong.
stretch, yeah.
You
I
didn't
remember
have
your
one?
stretch.
No, I never had a stretch.
Did you want
Armstrong.
it?
Yeah. The
It's-
kid down the block had one. I thought it was pretty cool.
It was a cool toy, man.
Yeah. It was fun to touch. I
That
had that,
sounded weird.
I know. I had that thing where it's like a liquid,
erection.
not an erection. It's liquid in like a plastic baggy type thing, and you squeeze it.
Aunt's parents just gave a Ziploc bag with
Water.
water, and they said, "Play
Go
with this."
play, Dick.
You squeeze it,
And he's
and
entertained.
it flies out of
He
your
loves it.
fist. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know what
I
he's
know
talking
what
about,
you
but
mean.
Yeah, I had that. That was cool.
some glitter
I have a
in it.
headache.
It's a bag with water.
Drink some more water.
Yeah, drink your water.
Okay.
I really liked this next segment. So you get the Gemini 8 launch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where the shaky camera thing was awesome. You
Yeah,
you
it
needed to
was
be here.
it was
You know
good.
what I mean?
It was good.
And I love the Foley, where
Nick?
you hear those the cranking and
Is it Mick?
the shit shaking. It's like, oh, you did so good.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
It looks good, and I like I like the shots where he's looking at Earth,
Yeah.
and like the camera gets close on his face,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like he's registering, like,
Like, holy shit, I'm in space.
yeah, I'm in space,
Yeah.
like.
But he's also no emotion. He's just
Well,
yep.
It's like
in
there's
space.
the camera is used in a way to hint that there's like actually deep thoughts in his head.
Yeah.
You know, that he's
Yeah,
obviously
of
not
course.
expressing, but that's what I love about it.
But then he
like,
does tell you what he was thinking, like later on.
later on,
Well,
yeah.
I was thinking about our trajectory.
No, he
Oh,
talks.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
And I know a lot of astronauts over the years have come out and said things similar, that like being up there changes your perspective on humanity.
William Shatner said that.
Did
Oh
he?
yeah.
Yeah, when he like went to
He
space.
said it was so blue and small.
Yeah.
And he was
Yeah.
just like, I've never imagined. Yeah, William Shatner went to space. What the fuck?
Well, that was just Bezos being
Like-
a maniac, being like, I can go to space too.
I'm gonna send Shatner. Get me Kirk.
All right. Well, if you're gonna go on a mission, you need Kirk.
It would be crazy if that's how Shatner died. Like if the rocket failed or something up there, and like that's how he
That
goes
would've
out.
been
It's
so
a better
bad.
death than what they gave him in Star Trek.
No, because what that is that's the opening to Generations. That's literally
Yeah.
the opening.
Yeah. He's in the Nexus.
Yeah.
We forever be talking about how Shatner actually went to the
Yeah,
Nexus.
Yeah.
That's all we
With
would
Dr.
say. Yeah.
Saran.
In another universe we are right
Yes.
now. So in space,
No one can hear you scream.
this
That's
was
true.
this was awesome because this is something they very rarely see. They're in space and
Space.
they realize their trajectory's off. And he's sitting there and he has a nice little like course map and you just see him doing math.
Yeah.
It's like it's very boring for most people. It's like why do I but he's
Not
actually
you though, because you love
he's
math.
looking at like the angle and the arc and the speed and he's just doing calculations, figuring out, okay, this is how I have to realign ourselves to dock with this thing. And it works. And it's like, oh, that's a nice little touch. They didn't have to do it. It's a good
Well,
touch. It shows how smart these guys really are.
They had a little moment earlier in the movie where he explained that you have to go into a lower orbit to
Mhm.
gain speed
Mhm.
and catch up with whatever you're chasing.
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, it's opposite on
Yeah.
Earth. Yeah.
The Gemini 8, they managed to successfully dock with it like perfectly, but then a thruster fucked up while
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
after they'd already completed the mission.
Yeah.
And it started tumbling the whole spacecraft.
Which they show in the movie, and it's like, holy
It's
shit.
Yeah.
terrifying.
right.
Terrifying.
Well, it's like that movie Gravity. Like,
Yeah.
space is fucking terrifying. Like,
It's space, dude.
Yeah,
It's
it's terrifying.
You're not humans are not supposed to be up there.
Yeah.
no. It's like- but it's one of the things that truly like scares me. Just
Yeah.
like, it's never gonna happen.
It's
to
the
me, most
final
likely.
frontier.
But like the idea of just like floating in space alone is like,
Yeah.
fucking. I'm like fucking.
I would hate that.
It's like Space Oddity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine this. Fucking they get
Podcasting
down
in space.
they get down on the moon. They do all their shit.
Yeah.
And then they get back in the lunar module and it won't take off. And now you're just stuck on the moon
Getting ready
forever
to
until
die.
you die, which is going to be in like an hour.
That's pretty much Gravity. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you see The Martian?
Yeah, I did.
Martian's really good.
That's a good movie.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's a little silly but cool.
Yeah, I mean, I just like that it's like a problem comes up, he has to solve the problem, then another
Yeah.
one, and
Yeah.
it's like
What was that other the Brad Pitt one? Ad
Astra.
Astra.
Yeah.
That was more silly.
That had space pirates, right?
Space
That had space pirates on the moon.
I never saw it, but I remember the two of you went to see it, and then you reported back to me like what it was, and you guys hated it.
It was so dumb. At
I
points.
didn't hate it.
It's not a hate. It was stupid. It's space pirates with moon rovers.
I never saw
I liked
the
that.
McConaughey one.
Interstellar.
Yeah,
Oh, that's fantastic.
that's good.
Yeah, that's fantastic. A lot of controversy though. People hate it or love it.
I didn't
It's-
like it.
it's-
I was talking about it with some fellas at work last night. They were of mixed feelings about it.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
how
like it,
is.
and I actually want to rewatch it because people have said to me, "You should watch it now that you have a daughter. You'll have a new perspective."
No, you won't.
Really?
That's what people have said to me.
That's-
Is it about
that's
having a daughter?
No,
That's a part
kinda,
of it.
but it's
Yeah.
not really.
Hmm.
Yeah, it
This
is.
movie fucking hit me in the feels.
Oh yeah. Well, they're trying to fucking
course.
cancer kill young daughters.
Yeah, it's
Like,
horrible.
I don't know if other parents that listen to this feel this, but I have a constant fear that like my kid is gonna die.
I imagine
I
that
believe
is
that's
a general.
More
Like
most
that's
parents,
yeah. I think nature puts that in you.
yeah.
But just like even like,
Except your father, he wanted you to go.
but like just like
by his own hand.
yeah.
Right.
But just like not even like she's in danger now, like must protect. It's like I'll just be thinking, it's like, what if she got sick and something happened and
Oh
like
my
I couldn't
God.
do anything? It's like I'll just get those thoughts all the time.
Right.
Try not to dwell on them, you know.
Well,
And then he's got to like say the pledge to get his erection down.
Right.
the pledge. That's the wrong thing. The pledge actually gets it up for me.
Maybe that was out of line. I'm like, why did I say that?
No, but like honestly, what I do is like I'm like,
He didn't react to it at all.
Yeah, I don't know what's worse, what you said or his reaction. Like, yeah, totally. He's like, no, the Russian theme, not the American.
no, what I really try to do in those situations is like when I don't have control or power in a situation.
Which situation are we talking about? When the
My
intrusive
erection.
thoughts of the erection.
The
Yeah,
erection.
okay.
No, like the intrusive thoughts, like when I think about like my daughter getting sick or something, it's like ultimately it's not something that I could control,
Right, yeah.
you know? But like I do think about it all the time, and like this movie hit me in the feels.
Yeah.
I cried at the end.
Did you?
Yeah.
It's a touching moment.
When we get there, yeah.
Let's talk about the spin.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. It's insane they survived.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's Neil
it was
Neil fucking being-
100% it was him.
being fucking awesome.
So that jet malfunctioned. It was no part of the pilots. It starts to go in a banked spin. So they thought it was the Aegina, and they're like, we have to detach.
Which is the thing they were coupling up to.
Yeah.
The coupled. They
had
detach,
coupled up.
and it's spinning at 270 meters. I think a minute. I think that was the speed. So that pretty much one rotation every second, which is, I think the max was 360. So one full 360 spin every second.
Holy shit.
So I was curious. I'm like, what is the G-force they were feeling there to pass out? Because they had, I think, 40 seconds before they were going to pass out before Neil got
Yeah.
control. They actually almost hit Earth's gravity. So 0.92 Gs.
And what would that do?
So if you think about how fast you're spinning,
Right.
if you're on Earth spinning that fast, you are going to pass out pretty much instantly. You're experiencing Earth's gravity. It's 9 times what you were experiencing
While standing on the ground.
in space. So space, you're adapted to nothing. Imagine instantly in a couple of seconds going back to Earth.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna feel some force, you know.
Yeah.
So pretty much you would have just passed out. He closes the RCS breakers. That's what they said. It's the re-entry control system. So as they're re-entering Earth, they have to slow down. They have to hit these jets that are going to propel them back so they don't fucking die and burn up.
Thrusters.
Yeah. Those are the thrusters they use, which also is a problem because then re-entry becomes another fucking problem. Luckily it didn't. Neil was able to get through it. So he, like
it
they show in the
almost
movie,
feels like
that's,
his actual like pilot skills and
saved
like,
them constantly.
but it just feels like it's like underrated, like how good he actually
Yeah.
is.
Right. And then he's driving, especially like later, he's driving like a spacecraft that's unlike anything that could even function on Earth.
Yeah.
You know, it's the lunar module is not exactly an airplane. You know, is my
No.
point.
No.
Look at it.
They show the test module in the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
And it looks like a spider.
And that's actually what they codenamed it up until it was like the Apollo 8 guys, or is it? No, it was Apollo 7, excuse me. No, Apollo 10. Apollo 10 is the first one where they used it, and they codenamed it the Spider. They gave it the call sign, and then the Apollo 11, when they do find land, it's the Eagle.
I thought you said it was okay, Spider.
I ain't all right, Spidey. Put me on fucking pay no mind list.
So now the Apollo test crew is chosen.
Right.
This was the fire that you were
Yes.
mentioning.
1965, right?
1967.
67.
This is where the three
Three
pilots
guys:
go
Gus
into the
Grissom,
module.
Ed White, and Roger Chaffee. Roger Chaffee, interestingly enough, was not part of the Mercury 7, which is the original 7 astronauts. He was a rookie. This was like his first mission.
Oh boy.
And
Sucks.
he was a spy plane guy. He actually was flying over Cuba during the Cuban Missile
Really?
Crisis just a few years earlier.
Sick.
Yeah.
Was Neil supposed to be in this, but he was at the White House instead, or was that
No,
he was completely
he just
separate
wasn't
from it?
chosen for this particular mission.
Mhm.
Yeah, so they were doing a dress rehearsal on the ground, and it was getting delayed because they couldn't get the radio signal through several buildings and were having communication problems. It's funny. The movie does this several times where it recreates actual audio
Mhm.
and images. Like the whole Apollo 11 sequence, I've seen so many images in the movie like that are just
Yeah.
famous, you know, like iconic stuff, like them
And the audio.
walking through that hallway. And this particular, the dialogue in this scene is exact to the actual audio. I've heard the audio. It's
Really?
it's terrifying. Like
Yeah.
these guys just burn alive.
Okay.
Like what they're saying, you know, they're making jokes and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, how are we gonna go to the space if we can't even get through 3 buildings?
Right.
Yeah.
That's from the guys. So there's a fire in the cockpit,
Mhm.
some kind of faulty wiring. They were never actually able to determine exactly what it was. They just kind of theorized that's what it is.
Seemed like an electrical fire, most likely.
The whole spacecraft is completely filled with pure oxygen.
Yeah, because that's what
So-
they need.
It's just a bomb.
And they didn't really fireproof anything because they had to learn to do that.
This had to happen.
Yeah. And to get out of the actual rocket, the door is welded shut. Not welded. It's bolted shut with like 3 giant bolts that have to be removed with a wrench from the outside. These guys had no fucking chance of getting
No.
out
Yeah.
of there.
There was a crematorium.
Yeah.
Well,
And
it
they
was
just
it was a bomb anyway. I think they died instantly.
They incinerated. Yeah. With all that oxygen in there.
Yeah, it's just. They do a good job where you see like a poof and you see a little bit of
Yeah,
smoke.
it
You're
just
like,
goes thump.
holy crap. Most likely it was an electrical fire.
Sad.
Who knows? Honestly, if you look at how that worked out, it might have actually been a communications wire that was loose.
It's possible.
Like it makes sense because they couldn't communicate with that instance.
Yeah.
So if it was probably loose, even a little bit, that shock hits and it's just boom, catches.
And just for the record, like the Soviets, who are also trying to go to the moon, they're doing all kinds of things themselves.
Yeah.
But they're having horrible problems where their rockets just keep exploding. You know?
Yeah.
Elon's rockets exploded too.
Yeah. But
Rocketry's difficult.
Elon's generally don't kill anyone. you
Well, they
know?
learned.
Yeah.
Has anyone died from a SpaceX flight?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Not to date.
A lot of them are unmanned.
I knocked.
but,
Yeah?
Yeah.
Until they know for sure,
Yeah.
they don't put
That
people
makes
on.
sense.
Yeah.
But I do like it's insane, like when you think about what his rockets can do, like that they go up and then they come back down
It's
and like
insane.
land like
It's catching a building with a pair of like chopsticks.
it's fucking ridiculous.
That's pretty much
Imagine, but like, think about it. Like the Apollo missions, the rocket goes up and then it's done.
It's
It
yeah.
can't be
done,
used
yeah.
ever
It's done.
again.
They
You
get rid
know,
of it. They scuttle it.
It's flying. The Saturn V's are still floating around in space above our heads right now. You know, the SpaceX shit. The fact that you can take off and land with the same equipment that you took off and landed with, it's absolutely incredible. And
It's-
the
beginning of an interplanetary species.
Do you think NASA is behind where they should be right now? Like I
of
feel like
course, NASA's worthless now.
I feel like it's like
SpaceX is way further.
SpaceX is way further, but it's like I feel like this is a technology that should have been developed like even before we were born almost.
Well, that ties into something in the film.
Mhm.
You may remember a scene just before the launch.
Well, you want to wait till we get
Senator.
we
Yes.
could talk then now, I guess.
Well,
right?
it is now.
You might remember a scene where we play in full Whitey's on the moon.
yes.
And this was real. There were about 150 black protesters outside of the Apollo 11 launch. They were headed by this reverend, I forget his full name, but the NASA guys actually came out and spoke with him.
Really?
Yeah. And they invited 10 of the protesters to be in the VIP booths to watch the launch with them. Nothing was solved by that meeting. You know, these guys still have all this resentment. The fact that taxpayer money is going to the space program.
Gil Scott Heron.
That might be his name. I'm not sure. But essentially, the protesters and what they're saying is, why are we advancing human achievement and going spending public funds on moon missions when we could be giving it to black people?
Poor.
No, black people.
That too.
The thing is whiteies on the moon.
Yes.
It is not for the poor. It is for black people.
Right.
Why are you not giving money to black people? That is
Yes.
what these protests are doing. Now, yes, there's obviously a case to be made that America's poor can be serviced by money that goes to the space program. Now, if you don't think the space program is worthwhile, I don't know what to tell you. I think you're a fucking retard. Because if you're going to advance humanity, like, why are we even here doing this? We're just going to do nothing forever. That's what the space program is for.
That and HARP.
Yeah. But clearly the minds that thought that way have won out in American society over the last 50 years because NASA does nothing now.
They study. They
It's
study
all
with
of-
satellites. They don't do a lot of rocketry.
We've been an embarrassment for decades now at this point.
Yes.
I think about close to 20 years, where American astronauts were having to go to the Russians to get to the space station.
Yeah.
You know, we suck.
Yeah.
We fucking suck. And Elon, you know, say what you will about him. I've got my issues with him, but he's single-handedly kicking and screaming, pulling the Western world back into the space. You know,
Well, it's the privatization of space, which should have happened long ago. As we know, the government fails at everything.
Yeah.
So he's doing the best work anyone's done for space in a long time. He's also put a ton of cube satellites into orbit. Dude,
But it's like,
he's the next step.
it's crazy because it's like you would think with landing on the moon, you would
Mhm.
take that momentum and it would just increase like what you're doing in space astronomically. But it's almost like it's like, yeah, we did it, we're done. Like, that's
Mhm.
it. You know?
Well, look what it took.
Yeah.
Look what it took. It took
the government does everything in their power to stifle whatever he's doing.
astronomical.
I'm not even talking about
amounts.
Elon. Like,
Yeah.
but you would think like in the country, like after this,
Mhm.
the biggest achievement in human history, in my opinion.
Well, you forget the space shuttle program and the space station. That shit was going on all through
Yeah.
the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Challenger.
Hubble.
Challenger.
Endeavor.
The Challenger explosion is
That
really,
hurt
I
a lot.
think,
The end.
what really soured the public on this. But if you look at how my opinion is, these guys, especially in the Apollo program, that died, you know, gave their lives to do this, to make this happen. How could you possibly not make it happen? You know, how could you give up? How could you let the program? You can't let the program fail.
And we didn't.
And we didn't. We made it happen by the end of the decade.
Yeah.
We made it happen, but I also think you have to give a little bit of leniency with how far you can progress, because what else would we have done, right? So we would have gone to satellites a little earlier. Like what else would we have done?
Better and more trips.
To what? The moon? We already did it.
More
It's
commerce.
nothing there.
definitely a terrible look. Like going back to Challenger, like when we're blowing up school
People,
teachers
yeah.
for publicity stunts.
Right.
You know, like what are they doing?
They're
Why are they,
orbiting.
first of all, why are they sending a teacher to space? Like,
Yeah.
what does that do?
Right.
Like, whoa! It's like that's fucking
if we
ridiculous.
lost Shatner, SpaceX might not exist.
well, that wasn't SpaceX.
That was Amazon.
That was
right?
Amazon. Jeff just decided
on.
I have so much
Hold
money,
on.
I'm going to space
Yeah.
too.
And then if we lose Shatner and the public was like, "What are you doing?" They shut down the privatization of space.
Nah, I don't think they could shut down
Yeah.
the privatization of space. I don't know. I mean, public opinion, obviously, when you don't live in the Soviet Union, public opinion actually matters.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because like I said, public opinion shut down the space program for the last 15 years.
Yeah. Basically.
Sure.
I don't know. I think it's important. I think it's led to innumerable advancements.
Velcro.
Yeah, things like
Mhm.
little things.
Yeah.
You know, microwaves. Microwaves come out of the space program.
Microplastics.
Yeah, they're in my testicles.
Yeah. And all
Uh,
of us. We're all one because of.
but if we're ever going to get off this rock, and we have to, if we're going to survive as a species,
Yes.
Because here's the thing: if let's say we give up on space travel
Mhm.
eventually
We're gonna run out of resources here.
you're gonna run out of resources, and the sun will.
Well, that's inevitable, right?
That's what I'm saying.
No, even if we did everything right,
Yes,
the sun's gonna eat us at some point.
Right.
So we gotta get out of here. The
We gotta
clock
get-
is ticking.
Yeah, we have to leave.
we
have to
all
leave
will
the
die if
solar
we
system.
cannot escape the solar system.
We
It's
have
just
to
a
leave the
fact.
solar
Yeah.
system.
So, guys,
that's what Interstellar is about, by the way.
is it?
Yeah.
Guys, I mean, I realize that there is a case to be made that you can feed the world. No, first of all, you can't. In fact, that's what when they met with that guy, the Reverend, the NASA guys said to him, if we could not press the button to launch and end poverty, we would do it. That is not the case.
It's just not a realistic
right?
thing.
Yeah,
It's a simple mind who says,
yeah,
why are you not doing this? Because if you just gave away all your money,
right.
it's like, no, you like on a base level, you could think that, but it's like that doesn't solve systemic issues that are at the root of poverty. The
Mhm.
base level of humanity is poverty.
Yeah.
It's like society has been built where it's like there's actually comforts and like
Mhm.
things to make poverty less bad. But it's like that's the default state of humanity is poor with nothing.
I mean, the majority of humanity lives off of chicken and rice. That's like what it is. It's not going to change.
Now I'm starving.
You just had a giant.
I
sandwich.
watched you.
I'm not serious.
I watched you go in.
Oh,
He brought up chicken and rice. I can't make a joke. Fuck.
I thought you were honestly hungry.
I am hungry. Yeah, I'm hungry.
You can. You didn't just eat a giant.
I did not
sandwich.
eat. I didn't. have
Brian
a
and
lot
I
of food
went
today.
to Slater's Deli today.
Is this the thing you told me about?
This is a famous deli here in New Jersey.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's
Where
fun.
they supposedly have the world's greatest pork roll, egg, and cheese.
And that's what you had.
That's what I had.
What were your thoughts?
Well, the sandwich was fine. I really enjoyed it. It's too big though. There's
It's too
no
massive.
reason for it to
The
be. that
sandwich is
big.
too big.
Yeah.
It's like 8 slices
Yeah.
of
Like,
Taylor.
what are you
ham.
guys doing?
You both finished it.
Yeah, I'm not going to waste food.
You
Yeah.
seemed like you
I'm also
enjoyed it.
fat.
You enjoyed it.
But we met an interesting character while we were there.
He had a wig on.
No.
I don't know if it was a wig or the worst dye job ever.
I think because he had gray. I think he had gray hair.
We
He had
met
a wig.
we met a guy who looked exactly like if Mark Hamill had a really bad day. He was wearing, and he sounded like him too.
Yeah. a
He
little
was
bit.
wearing a Yankee cap, but underneath it, you could see the jet black. He's an older man. He's like in his 60s. He had jet black hair sticking out from under his Yankee
And
cap.
under that, he had white hair.
Yeah, his beard was completely white.
And like the sides of his head.
he sat down with us.
What?
Well, first of all, he first thing he did was turn Brian on to Mountain Dew.
Well, it
He
was.
taught Brian about
well,
Mountain
what
Dew.
happened was
What
so.
the fuck is going on?
So Ann is ordering a sandwich, and
Yeah.
he goes, "I'll have a pork roll, egg, and cheese."
Yeah,
And then the woman goes, "What do you want?"
Brian wanted to be a pain in the
I
ass.
was like, "I'll have a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese."
Now, anybody from New Jersey knows this is a no-no.
Well, no. it
Depending
depends.
on where you are. If you're in North Jersey, they say Taylor ham. If you're in where we live, it's pork roll.
So they spit in his.
Well, they laughed at him. Like, okay, North Jersey. Like
Yeah.
they like
Oh,
laughed.
that's funny.
They were
yeah.
like, "Fuck you." You
It was
know?
fine. It was
Yeah.
friendly. Yeah.
Yes.
But this,
That
guy,
set the guy off. The guy was like, we
I
are
gotta
chatting.
talk. I gotta
Yeah.
talk to these guys.
Yeah.
The Northerner, huh?
So he wanted to learn all about us. He was telling us all about him.
Everything was like a setup for a punchline.
He was constantly doing one-liners, like a Borscht Belt comedian.
like.
Why did you not invite this guy on the show?
I almost wanted to, but
He kept calling Staten Island Static Island,
Static Island,
which
yeah.
was driving me nuts.
I don't know why he was doing that.
Yeah.
He was asking us about great kills. And he turned Brian on to Mountain Dew. He taught Brian what Mountain Dew was.
What is
Yeah, he's
Mountain
like,
Dew?
you need
What's
Mountain
Mountain
Dew.
Yeah, he was telling us about how he met Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
Come on. That blue eyes.
You know what the difference is between a Jew and an Italian?
What? That?
1 year of high school.
Yeah,
That's what he
I don't
said.
even get the joke, but that's what he said to us. And I was like, you're good, you.
It was just constant zings like that.
Just went on for like 15
Did you
minutes.
get his number?
his,
what, are you
name's
guys,
his name's Brian.
what are you guys doing? You got
His
his
name was
number,
Brian
right?
too?
Oh, wait, no.
No.
No, I don't remember what his name was. He was annoyed that Brian's name was Brian because Brian told him he was Jewish. Because obviously when you're
How in depth did you guys go with this?
really
guy?
like deep,
Like,
actually.
what is happening?
When I don't know why, but like old school New Yorkers want to know your ethnic background immediately.
It's very important.
Um,
I
they
want to know
know
what
you.
jokes I could say.
Right. They know you instantly.
right.
Yeah.
So they want to know. So Brian had to tell him he was Jewish, and then when
I
he
really wasn't. I didn't want him to do a Jew joke, and I have to be uncomfortable.
well, you did it first.
I
Oh, he told us he grew up among the Jews,
yeah.
and then I said, yeah, me too. And then Brian goes, I'm a Jew. but
Pulls
then
you to the side. Why are you talking to us?
so then when Brian said his name was Brian, he's like, what are you, Irish? What's going on here? He was like mad. So Brian had to explain his ethnic makeup to this guy. It was fucking great.
I should be like, no, my real name is Shlomo.
Yeah, right.
When I was checking out and I was paying, the owner was like, I'm sorry about him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's a regular?
I
guess.
guess. It seems like he just is in there all day because another guy came out from the back and was like, are you done here? Because he had like his garbage was on the table. Can I clean this fucking mess up? He yelled at him.
He was a real character.
So
Yeah.
next time we record,
We're going to Slater's Down.
I'll come early. I'll go to the Delvez.
Yeah.
If he's there, I gotta meet this dude.
Yeah.
This sounds like a good character. Invite him on the show. Bring him closer. I want him in arm's reach to my life. So we got some stuff, little press conference. He gets picked to go to the moon. His son doesn't care. He's a little shit.
Mm.
And then we get a nice scene.
Well, I do like this. They ask Neil
What do you wanna
about the
bring?
cost of the program.
Yeah.
Was it worth it?
It's like, yeah, it's a little too late to ask that, man.
Yeah.
People are dead. Neil, what would you bring? A little more fuel.
Yeah. And then Buzz like immediately has like a zippy one line.
Yeah.
Yeah, Buzz is
Buzz
good here.
is like an asshole in the movie.
He's abrasive. I wouldn't call him an asshole.
He's a slight dick, I think,
He
throughout.
loves to joke with he
He-
loves the press conference.
He doesn't like care about other people's feelings at all. You know?
Yeah.
Like people are dying. His friends, people he knows are like dead. People are kind of mourning, and Buzz will be like, "Well, that's a move up in seniority." You know?
Yeah.
Yes.
He'll talk about like, oh well, that's what he did wrong. He just clearly didn't know to pull that lever. That's why he's dead right now. It's like
We know he wasn't aggressive enough.
right.
We know he wasn't that good of a pilot. We kind of expected this, didn't
it.
we?
That's why he got demoted. It's like, oh my god, man.
So I'll be honest, I don't know much about Apollos 2 through 6.
Okay.
The missions. I'm not sure exactly what they did, but by 7, they had completely redesigned everything to compensate for what happened on Apollo 1. Like they fireproofed everything. They made the doors work better. They like fixed all the electronics, and it was like a new machine.
Insulated stuff.
Yeah. And they also fireproofed their suits, their space
I think
suits.
they made it bigger too.
Yeah.
Because the rocket itself, like fuel wise.
Apollo 8, the CIA found out that the cosmonauts were going to send a manned mission to orbit the moon. So they changed what was supposed to be like another testing type deal for Apollo 8. They were like, nope, we got to orbit the moon first. So they sent them up and fucking blasted them around the moon. And that is when they took the famous photo, Earthrise. Have you seen that? I'm sure you have.
Yeah, I probably have.
Earthrise. It's taken from the ship above the
Okay.
moon, and you can see the Earth in all its
Yeah.
glory. It's the first time humans had ever actually done that. One thing they discovered when they did Apollo 8 was that the moon's gravity is fucked up and weird.
Well,
It-
yeah, they don't know that yet.
Right. So unlike Earth, which is pretty consistent gravity all around the planet, the moon has dense pockets of different like metallic or magnetic materials
Heavier. Yeah.
that change the gravitational pull in certain areas around the sphere. So like in one place they can it'll like be stronger than in other places, so they have to figure that out if they're going to do this. So with Apollo, I think 10 was sent to just map out all the different gravity pockets so that they know where things are and how to angle stuff for when they actually attempt the landing, which of course will be Apollo 11, which is where we're at in the movie.
Yeah. We did the Whitey on the moon shit.
Yeah.
And like Neil like sees kids playing and he has like visions of his daughter. he's like haunted by it. Like he sees
Yeah.
a swing
Yeah.
and she's there, and then she's.
I think they're
gone.
taking artistic license with that.
Mhm.
Obviously, it's something he carried with him his whole life. Who knows what he was thinking?
Yeah.
He's also
Um,
scared to talk to his sons because,
Yeah, he doesn't want to tell them I'm going to die.
yeah, that's
Or
a
I'm afraid
difficult
of dying.
conversation. You know.
But his wife makes him. I love his wife through the whole movie too. Like she's a good character.
She's
Yeah.
a firecracker.
Yeah. Well, she's clearly like taking care of shit.
I love the way the actress talks as her because she carries that like 1950s like housewife afflection. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, she has an absent husband for the most part, not just
Pretty much. Like
not just physically, but clearly emotionally. Like he's like that stoicness doesn't play well when you're dealing with loving someone.
he
like
must have
that,
been
you
a
know?
hard guy to
Well,
to
they
get
got
along
divorced.
with. Very blatant life.
You know, when it was acceptable.
Yeah,
Because you think about it, they're in the 60s and 70s. It's not as
Yeah.
acceptable as 80s.
I suppose. Yeah,
Neil did crash the
the Gemini 8.
the rover thing,
Oh yeah,
the spider.
Yeah, that was a long.
but
Yeah.
that was testing. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
they-
he didn't. He actually didn't fuck up his whole face like that.
Oh.
He just bit his tongue.
Hmm.
That just to clarify.
Yeah, well, he
something that
has the
happened.
the great line. He's like, we have to mess up here,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so we
Yes.
don't mess up there.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah.
But it's also a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
You
All
know,
the
you
shit
crash
is-
one of those things.
all the shit is
it's
astronomically
crazy.
expensive,
Yeah.
which is why people have a problem with it.
Mhm.
You know,
But it's like, yeah, there's no cheap way to fucking do the
Yeah.
impossible, guys.
right?
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible to put a colony on Mars?
Yes.
On Mars?
That would be the first one, I would assume, right?
I think the moon would probably make a little more sense first.
Would you eat
Like-
the moon if it was made of ribs?
Well, you need an outpost on the moon to have a colony on Mars
Okay.
because it's easier to launch rockets from the moon and conserve fuel.
Fuck, that's
than
a
it
great
is
idea.
It's not my idea.
I thought you just came up with that.
No, that's the plan.
Oh, really? It's like- so
That's the
Elon's
plan.
plan would be moon base.
It's easier to launch a rocket from the moon. You just have to make sure you can catch these fucking things going back into Earth.
But now we have to deal with a layover.
Yeah.
Moon base alpha and moon base.
we might have a
moon unit. Moon unit alpha.
Zappa. Chair doesn't work.
But do you think we could like terraform the moon?
No,
Not the moon.
No.
You can't terraform Mars
Terraform
either.
Right.
You can't terraform.
We're gonna have dome cities.
Yeah,
Brian.
they're domed.
Do you think?
Yeah. It's gonna
Now,
be sick.
can
That's
you
cool too.
We're gonna make New York.
like? I know that Elon said if you nuke the pole of Mars, you could terraform it,
Whoa.
but there's not enough water. So
Well, what if we dump water?
Dump it.
yes, we're gonna use buckets. You would need to redirect an ice comet into into Mars, and then you'd have to wait like 1,000 to 4,000 years for an atmosphere to form, and then another million for it to fucking settle.
Everyone
It
knows
ain't happening.
that you have to construct a torpedo that can release the Genesis wave. Okay? And it's going to kill everything on the planet and replace it
Right.
with new life. It's life from lifelessness.
How does Spock? Spock is reanimated. Why does he?
Because his body is caught up in the Genesis wave,
Okay.
which reanimates it. I don't know why he's a little kid again.
Yeah. he's just, and he rapidly ages into.
Well,
like-
he's tied up with the fate of the planet, of the
Okay.
Genesis planet,
Then why doesn't he blow up?
because they get him off the planet. Don't ask questions like
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Stop. Jim,
I'm gonna hop back.
your name is Jim.
Hop back into the film here. We get a cool reading, like how they would do the notice of death, like a little like example, like okay, if they crash, we're not getting the bodies back. They know this, you know. It's like a fucking sailor's funeral almost,
Yeah.
which is nice. Pre-flight meal. This is so tense. You know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, you know
the
they
end.
make it.
You know the end, but it's still like, oh, this is like way more tense than I thought.
And that's
it
what
would
I
be.
think the movie is good at, because we
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
know like that they go and
Right.
come back, but like it
Unless
does it in a way.
Tarantino didn't make this. So,
No.
you know.
But it's like it goes in a way where it's like you understand the characters, like how they're feeling.
This is exactly what
Yes.
happened too. Like, so
Right.
they overshot the landing zone
Yeah.
because
Yep.
they came in too hot, and as fuel was running out, they
Armstrong.
went careening over a massive crater
Well, here's
that
the
would have
thing.
just killed them.
Here's the thing.
It was Rocky.
Yeah.
This is what's funny is they actually were not running out of fuel. The computers
Oh,
were,
right.
were malfunctioning
Yes.
and telling them they were running out of fuel, and everyone at NASA down below
Mhm.
was terrified with these readings.
Well, hold on.
Because it's
Before,
Well,
saying that
I
they're
actually
almost
know
out.
kind of the details of what was happening.
Me too.
Okay.
before we get there, we got to talk about the launch and the travel time.
Okay.
Okay.
The launch is awesome. We've seen it already, so we just
Yeah.
could skip that.
Did you notice all the recreated scenes from the intro to Star Trek Enterprise?
Yes. It's been a long road.
They detach, they launch in the LEM, the
LEM.
lunar,
Yeah.
the
Lunar
I
excursion.
was
excursion
lying in the
module,
grass.
excursion
those
module, whatever it
early
is.
Stop
mornings of
talking
the-
about
it's
Len.
a very, very small tin can.
Has that been said in like 30 years?
Okay.
You know they were brother and sister?
Yeah, but it doesn't look that way.
No,
from
it
the
doesn't.
Video.
I know
Not
it's not for me.
If you steal my sunshine.
the LRM, Lunar Research Module. 4-day travel in
From
that
Earth to the moon?
in that small tin can.
200 no. Oh yeah. No. Oh yeah. There's
You
two,
know what? Just let them.
There's
Let
two
them go.
pieces. There's
Let
two
them.
pieces.
Let them cook. Yes, there's 2 pieces.
Yeah.
You have the LRM,
The command module.
the command module, then you have the
Yeah.
LEM.
Mike is driving the command module.
Yeah.
The unsung hero of this mission that nobody
I
ever
feel
talks
so
about.
Yes,
bad for that
yes.
guy.
Michael Collins?
Yeah.
He's a hero.
I'll
And
say
he
this.
saved Ireland.
I'll- there had to be a level of. I think I would have had mixed feelings. I would have been like, you know what? It would have been really cool to walk on the moon, but if they get stuck, it's really cool that I'm
Well,
not
that
there to
was
get
what he
stuck.
later revealed was
You know
his
what I mean?
greatest fear was to have to travel home alone. You
Oh,
know,
really?
Because like, oh my God.
I have to leave them.
My friends are left on the planet.
Yeah.
On the moon.
So
And they showed NASA had prepared a statement in case that happened.
yes,
And
Yeah.
they read it out, which was pretty cool.
yeah, that was the one I said before, like a sailor's funeral kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like we lost the bodies, and
Yeah.
they knew about it. It's rough.
Like what they did for Osama bin Laden.
I had the same thought.
Burial at sea with honor and dignity. Yeah, because we definitely didn't want to see how that turned out. Good thing they took care of that.
That's next episode. So they hover over the moon, then they launch the LEM. The LEM is an even smaller tin can that looks like it's wrapped in tin foil. It's gold-plated foil, reflects light and gathers energy and shit like that, right?
It has no heat shield, so it couldn't even re-enter an atmosphere if it wanted to.
No, that thing is it's the spider that we were mentioning.
Yeah.
It's a little piece of shit machine, but God damn it, it works.
Yes.
And it has no radar data. That's the problem. And the alarm they were talking about is the 1202 program alarm. That's what you're
Right.
mentioning.
Yes.
And you want to take it?
So the computer, the computing power that they're going up there with is less than we have in like a
Your
fucking
phone.
car
Yeah.
clicker.
Which is one of the things you'll hear conspiracy theorists say.
Yeah.
It's less than a Nokia worth of memory,
Yeah.
pretty much.
That's also why Neil has to do fucking calculations with a pen and paper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was the computer on board the machine was overloading. It was doing too many more processes than it can handle.
Specifically, the guidance computer. Yeah.
Right.
So
So
memory was
Neil had
full.
Neil had to take over manually, which is why he's flying the thing. Which I would trust more than the computer anyway. To be
At this
honest
point.
with
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
At this point,
you.
definitely.
And that 1202 was like it was happening intermittently, meaning most of the processes that need to get done were still getting done. So mission control was like, okay, we're okay to go, but like
You have no
got to do it
guidance.
yourself. Yeah.
You have no guidance on landing.
Mhm.
Anybody, in layman terms, if you ever filled up your hard drive too much, you get an error. That's what it was. Like, sorry, I can't save this. I can't process this because you have no
Yeah.
room for
I
me to do
can't
it.
save you.
I can't save. You just have to save me. Full memory sucks, but the eagle lands.
The eagle has
The eagle's
landed.
landed.
Yes, just like Arion wanted.
We get the line.
Yes.
We get the flag. We get the shots.
Now,
this is the best sequence.
here's what I want to know.
Yeah.
As a kid, I used to watch Hysteria on the WB.
Yes.
And on that show, and I've believed this my whole life, is because of the show, is that Neil, the communication was garbled. And the line is actually one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind. Now, I've heard the communication a billion times.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound garbled to me. I think Neil just fucked up and messed up his own line. Because really what he's saying is, it's one small step for mankind, one giant leap for mankind.
Yes.
It's got to be a man. That's got to be the line.
One small step.
He
I
said
thought
that's
one small step for man.
What?
That's what he said.
It's one small step for man.
But it makes no sense. He fucked it up. It's one small step for a man.
Yeah.
One giant leap for mankind.
That's what he was supposed to say.
Yes. That's what he probably wanted to say. But he was probably freaking the fuck
You're on
out.
space.
You're on the.
I'm on the moon. 70 million people are watching me right now.
Dude, with no pressure.
I'm alive.
Wait, think about this. With no pressure, I can't get a band camp.
Yeah.
I can't properly give the Patreon address.
Yeah, you can't even say you just did it again.
I did it again. I can't get that right down here at a podcast table. The man's in space.
I'm on the fucking moon.
That's your first line when you land. Right? Like, you put your foot on. You're the first one. That's what you're saying, right?
Holy shit!
Not only am I still alive, my foot is on the moon.
That would be
One small step for man.
Giant leap for. Why don't I see stars? Why is it so black?
You could make this into a really funny sketch, right?
Yeah. What would your first line be? What would your first line be?
I did it! Suck my dick!
Me and Buzz are going to be the first people on the moon and to have sex in space.
I would jump off the ladder and I would yell, "Getting jiggy with it," and then crip walk.
In space, you can dance.
Yeah.
Just so I know, when your photo's being taken on the moon, are you doing the fist thing?
Yeah.
100%. I'm doing the fist.
That's also his NASA portrait. He has the fist up.
Mm. Yeah. So I think they spent about 2 hours and 40 minutes up there.
Yes, and
That's a long
real quick,
time.
Buzz kind of fucks over Neil Armstrong
How?
What?
because,
What do you mean?
all right, he doesn't take, there's like almost there's one picture of Neil on the moon.
Okay.
So what?
Every other picture is of Buzz. Like the footprint,
Because Neil had the camera.
but the famous footprint that people have seen the picture of,
Yeah.
that's Buzz's footprint.
Okay, so.
But it's just like, all the
What, Buzz can't get anything?
Listen,
Fucking Neil is
yeah,
the guy with the
Neil
quote.
got
He's
the
the hero
title.
to everything.
Neil got the title of first man on the
Yeah.
moon. Buzz can get all the pictures he
Can we
wants.
give Buzz something?
Give him the pictures. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
and Neil should have left his ass.
This is why you can't go to the moon with Brian.
Yeah.
This is why you weren't picked.
All right, if the three of us are Neil, Buzz, and
And
Michael,
Mike.
who's staying behind?
Him. I don't know. I don't
I
know if I
think
trust
you would
either
stay
one.
behind.
It's probably going to be
You
me.
guys always make fun of my driving, so fuck off.
That's why I'm
do I gotta
saying-
be
I'm
my
going
cop?
first.
That's why I'm saying there's a good chance it's. Yeah, but you're not Neil. You're not that
Yeah.
good at piloting either.
I'll be great.
I'm a great
I'm
pilot.
Neil.
I'm a great
I think
pilot.
I'd be
one
the
of
best.
best.
I would be the pilot out of the three.
I
of
think
us.
you got to stay behind Steve.
You know what? I'm fine. I don't want to get stuck on the moon anyway. It's gonna be funny when I'm like, "Hey guys, I'm
Well,
leaving."
that's why I think you would stay behind. I think
Because I'm the
you,
better
I
pilot.
think deep down you would have a sense of dread that this is gonna get fucked up, and you'd be like, I'm just gonna stay here." Just in
Yeah,
case."
but NASA would be like, "These two can't drive for shit. You have to land the LEM." he can't see,
What
and
do you mean?
can't see either.
I can see.
See
You
great.
blurry vision. You can't really see.
What are you
at night.
talking
You're-
about? Blurry vision.
Aren't you colorblind?
Yeah, but I don't need it. The moon's gray.
You fucking.
How do you know?
Everyone knows that. And now we get the scene that I found pretty emotionally like devastating,
Oh, the
which
bracelet.
didn't happen.
He didn't.
Well,
drop,
we don't know.
He didn't
He-
drop a
well-
bracelet into a crater.
So both pilots were allowed to bring like a box of like
Stuff.
personal trinkets.
This was an invention of the movie, probably.
It works.
The fact is, Neil, for 10 minutes of their time on the moon, was out of contact with everyone else.
Yes.
So whatever he did in that time is unbeknownst to anyone but Neil.
You think he polluted?
Well, in the movie,
he's leaving gum wrappers everywhere. I got this hubba bubba in my pocket. I'm gonna
Now,
fucking
didn't
throw it on the ground.
didn't Buzz
That's what we did. We polluted the moon
Yeah.
the second we were there. We just left our shit.
didn't Buzz like play golf?
They did play golf on the moon.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was them or a later
It
mission.
might have been a later
Somebody
mission.
played golf on the moon. I
Mhm.
think later they had a rover and they
Okay.
drove around on the moon. I don't think it was this mission that they had the rover though.
Okay.
I'm not sure
But
I'm not
Neil
well-versed in
takes his dead daughter's bracelet
in the movie. Yeah.
and he walks over
and
to the
releases
giant
it
crater
into space.
and he just drops it into the
I feel
crater.
like that's
Yeah.
something I would have kept. Why would I drop it into?
I mean,
crater?
if you're gonna do a tribute to your dead daughter,
That's a very good. Trip.
doing it on the moon is pretty fucking
pretty
cool. It's
awesome
like I
tribute,
did
yeah.
this. Yes.
Like her. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Then they leave.
Yeah, that's it.
They're like, all right, we're done
Yeah.
here.
And now they have to be quarantined.
For like a month.
400 million people watched that broadcast.
I think it was more.
Probably more, but that's like a
Yeah.
guarantee. Could have been a billion. For this time, that's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not everybody has a TV.
Oh, I do like. We didn't
Oh,
mention this.
really?
I love the scenes where they're in space, like out of the ship. There's no sound but them breathing, really.
Mm.
Well, they're not going to have it anyway. Yeah.
Well, in space,
Yeah.
you know, there's no
Nobody
sound.
could hear you scream.
Yeah.
But they can hear you say, assimilate this while you take your batleth out
Yes.
and chop a Borg's arm off.
Assimilate this.
They could also hear Steven Tyler telling you not to close your eyes and don't miss a thing.
Never saw that movie.
Armageddon.
Fuck you. It's a better movie than this.
No, it's not. It's a good movie though.
Armageddon's way more entertaining than this movie.
It's way more entertaining.
It's a popcorn movie.
Do you actually like that movie?
Yeah. Armageddon's fun. yeah.
Armageddon's great. Alex cried to it. My wife.
I've always heard it's a pile of shit.
You're a pile of shit.
I
So,
know
do-
that.
It's Michael Bay.
Oh,
It's great.
It's
the man who
Armageddon,
gave
man.
us Pain and Gain.
It's
Yeah,
Armageddon.
exactly.
It's Bruce Willis.
Do you like it better than
It's Bruce
Independence
Buscemi,
Day?
come on.
Do you like it better
No,
than Independence
Independence
Day?
Day's better. Armageddon is
Hold
better
on,
than
Steven
Deep
loves
Impact.
both. Which is
I
better?
do love both. What's better, Armageddon or Independence Day?
All right, better. Armageddon is actually better,
Armageddon's the
but I
better
like
movie.
Independence Day more.
Armageddon has like sad moments
Yeah.
that are very memorable.
You didn't.
Independence Day just rocks.
You weren't sad
Yeah.
when they blew up the Capitol building.
I was happy when they blew up the Capitol. I was sad when they blew up New York. You know?
Mm.
Buster.
Boomer.
Boom.
But it's very
Mhm.
you're disassociated from it. Disassociated from any character deaths in Independence Day, where Armageddon you actually feel the deaths more. That's all.
What about the first lady?
Randy Quaid.
You weren't
Sad,
you
very
weren't
sad.
when
But
the
there's
first lady died.
that's like the only one, right?
Mm.
Like whereas Armageddon they lose a lot.
What about the girl who was in Saved by the Bell, the college years, who gets blown up on top of that building in Los Angeles?
No, that was her fault.
I hope they bring back Elvis.
Yeah, that was their fault. That was their fault. I never feel
She
bad
was in
about
the college years.
Yeah.
it. Never trust
She's
an
part of the main
alien.
cast,
That's-
actually.
I live
Who
by
is she
that.
supposed to be in that? Like, she took the place of Kelly, or
She was. Oh, in the college. No, Kelly was in the college years. Come on,
was,
dude. Don't
right.
you know?
I haven't seen the college.
She
years.
was like the Jesse Spano of that show.
Okay, she took Jesse's place.
Yeah. In fact, I think she was dating Slater.
Is that Anne Tremco
Let me see her face.
or Leslie Burke?
Let me see.
All right.
Let me see. I think it's Leslie. Yeah. Let me see her face. I haven't seen this in so long. That's everyone. Who are we talking about? That's the whole cast.
Who cares? What are we talking? Where are we?
No, no,
How
no.
did we
That's the
get here?
blonde. The other one. Yeah, that's her.
Kristen Warren.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So he spends a month in quarantine.
Hold on. What is your favorite
We gotta finish this.
Saved by the Bell spinoff? Is it the college years? Is it the new class? Is it the wedding in Las Vegas? Or Malibu Sands? Perhaps that. Hawaiian style.
Didn't they just come back too?
There's a new
What?
Saved by the Bell, and
I
I
thought
wasn't
there
privy to
was.
this.
I thought there was like a 2020. Yeah.
Get the heck out of here.
Zach Morris is now the
He's in it?
He's the former governor of
California?
Governor.
Yeah.
Zach became the governor?
Yep.
That makes sense.
No wonder the fucking state
he
is
ran
failed.
he ran for governor as a way to get out of a $75 parking ticket, and he later cut $10 billion in education funding from the state budget, which forces the closure of poorly funded schools, including Douglas High. He is married
Douglas
to
High? What
That
about
makes
Bayside?
No, this makes so much sense. Because they know who the evil guy is.
Zach?
Yeah.
Zach's the bad guy?
He cut $10 billion in funding.
I think you make him the principal. Make him the new Mr. Belding.
That's what you would have
well,
done.
he's the governor,
He's the governor who cut $10
and
billion.
he's married to Kelly
who cut
Kapowski.
$10
Thank God.
billion for education.
She's the
Is Tiffany Amber Thiessen in
yeah,
it too?
she is. She's the former
I wanna watch
first
this.
lady of California.
I want to
Sounds
watch
horrible.
this.
I know.
Sounds
I would
great.
watch it. Lark Voorhees is there.
Oh, Lisa Turtle.
Yeah, she's a fashion designer and former.
Thank God everything turned out for all of them.
Yeah.
Like what they wanted.
Except Screech.
Well, he's dead.
The guy who runs the Max is back.
He's still alive.
Yeah.
Oh, what was his name? I think his name was Max.
Ed Alonso,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, Max.
Yeah.
What about Slater?
I'm looking.
Mario Lopez.
He owns a gym.
He's the only one that still has a
He
career.
owns a
He
gym.
does not show up on the show.
He would have owned a gym.
What about fucking Jesse Spano?
Oh, good. No, she
Stripper.
doesn't show up.
stripper from
Too naked.
that thing?
Yeah,
Yeah, too naked.
Showgirls.
Too naked. Showgirls. That's what she was doing.
I've
like
said this before.
I like the wedding.
the wedding in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That was great because the mafia was chasing Slater. That was awesome. He meets a German princess.
Yeah. Do you like the new class?
I think I've seen one of those because they didn't play those on TBS. I've seen everything else.
They didn't rerun those constantly.
Screech was on that.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, what about Good Morning Miss Bliss? We haven't mentioned that.
Oh well, that's the original. That when they would just get rid of calling it Good Morning Miss
Yeah.
Bliss, and they would just call it Saved by the Bell, because that was the original title.
Yeah. Oh
I'm
man.
like, who cares about
I
stupid
love,
Miss Bliss?
I love Saved by the Bell. I really do.
It's so good.
Where are we?
The movie's over. Oh well,
No,
he-
it's not.
He meets his wife after he's quarantining, and she
Yeah.
comes in, and he's like,
He
"Put
ta-
him on the glass."
Yeah. They do the cable guy. They
yeah.
do Midnight Express.
Oh,
Oh, Billy.
this is beating off.
That's what he does in Midnight Express.
Yeah.
So on the trip to the moon, you were to beat off, right? 4 days.
That would have sucked for everyone else. Just dodging my floating jizz
Ah.
for the rest of the fucking. It's like,
Ah.
And you know you can't use a towel because it won't stick in space.
Didn't you beat off on the plane to France?
yes, I did.
Imagine that was followed. It's Mike. in the
You're an
face.
animal. You couldn't wait 6 hours.
It was 7.
I wanted to join the personal Mile High Club.
Yeah, it's our friend to
He
go
had
and
to
he wouldn't
enjoy
go here.
himself.
Look, no one's gonna fuck me in the bathroom, so you know,
There was a few of us. Am I lucky?
just start asking all friends, "You want to go fuck in the bathroom?" And we're not gay. We're just doing this for the Mile High
It's,
Club.
yeah.
It's in international waters. It doesn't count. So this is the main issue I had with the film is this like kind of moment where it's like they don't say a word to each other. They just kind of sit there, look, breathe a little bit, sigh, and that's it. Just no lines. It's
Well,
it's
can I-
bothersome.
I wanted them to have like a loving.
Say something.
Yeah. And they don't have it. They just.
Well,
the
that's what I
hand.
like, that it's just the
Yeah.
hand, because Neil is so stoic. There's always a wall up between him and others.
Wow.
She
And
just
that's why
couldn't
there's
just
the
say
glass.
like you did it, congratulations, something, anything to show that you actually care about each other.
No matter what you
like-
say is going to be too small.
Yeah.
That's why
Ah,
nothing works
yeah.
better.
Eh,
What do you say? Good job.
you made history. I love you.
No,
Ended
that's
up-
not good enough.
You can't end on a high note. That's what kind
That
of
is,
like.
it is
come
a
on.
high note. They have a more meaningful moment with the hand thing.
Yeah. Ship.
Out of
Out of
Been a good friend.
I always have been.
You saved the ship.
Never shall be. Your friend. How do you like my solution, Captain?
What do you rate it? What do you rate
9.
this? 9?
9.
It's pretty
I
high,
thought
man.
I thought it was great. This movie was awesome.
I really liked it a lot. I'm gonna go 8.5.
I did an 8.
Okay.
An 8. It was awesome.
I love the look of it.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Solid
great.
movie.
The emotional moments all work.
It's not going to it's not going to hit the levels of like Braveheart or like Gladiator, like to me. You know
It's
what I mean?
not that kind of movie.
Yeah.
It's not exactly, but that's why. I'm just giving my reasoning.
I think it's a good portrait of the man.
Definitely. Yeah. Good watch.
Yep.
Okay.
His son thought it was great. So
Yeah, his son liked
yeah,
it.
so
Don't-
obviously, I think that's as close as you're gonna get as an endorsement from the man himself.
Yeah. Be like, that's accurate.
Yeah.
Fuck you so much.
I thought that was a good one.
I have a question.
Yeah.
The United States. How many stars are in the flag?
It's an artist depiction. I didn't make fucking.
Isn't
50
there?
stars.
Is that like the flag
I was
of
gonna
Texas?
make fun of how fat,
fat
he
the
made Neil.
spaceman is? Yeah.
However, Neil's in a spacesuit, so I guess
Yeah.
he should be a little bulkier.
That's what I
normal.
was thinking.
He also is supposed to have a backpack.
Yeah.
They have backpacks.
I
but
forgot the backpack.
the flag really bothers me.
Why is he holding it and
Yeah.
not like why
Putting
isn't
it on the moon?
Why didn't you put it planted?
Well, I wanted him kind of like walking.
Uh-huh.
Walking
know?
with the flag. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I get it. It's just the flag.
Looks like he's marching.
The flag bothers me, like on a personal American level.
Your sense of patriotism is
It really offends me.
Brian's drawing.
Yes, it offends me.
I don't think it's one of the worst ones though.
Is that the flag of Texas? I guess that makes sense if it's Texas,
Oh,
right?
imagine if Texas went to the moon before America.
Imagine Neil instead of an American flag just put a Cincinnati Reds flag down.
He puts a Confederate flag.
Yeah. I'm doing this in the name of the South. Whoa, Neil.
We have
Whoa.
Now I see why all those protesters were down there.
we have risen to start our new Confederacy on the moon.
What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do?
I'm up here. Come at me,
Yeah,
bro.
Come get it.
Come and take it. Why are you at war with the moon? Because you're down here.
If only the South could rise to the moon. So that's it. That's the first.
That's it.
Solid.
All right. Guys, go to patreon.com/reviewing history.
He did it.
Check out the new output we got coming this week. Again, I said it before, I'll say it again. Seinfeld School, there's a whole bunch of tiers. Find one that works for
Tea is a
you.
war.
New output.
Well, every week there's a new video dropping.
It's content. You want some content? We got content coming out
We
of our
got hot
fucking ears.
content.
Your daddy's giving you content.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm having fun with the Discord too for the people that are joining.
Yes, we've been chatting it up.
Yeah, but trying to moderate it.
Yeah, you've been doing Jack and shit, and Jack left
Yeah,
town.
did
Let's
you-
be honest.
Who made the Discord?
I don't know. Brian.
No, Steve
really?
made it.
Really? That's good. That's
Fucking
nice.
how about you participate? The people are paying
I
for
made the
this.
channels. I'm still getting used to how I'm supposed to do it. I've never made it before. I made it for us to go to Vegas once. And then all of a sudden I'm a master.
You did it. You've
All right.
figured it out. But yeah, patreon.com.
How's that discount code coming? Who did that?
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, how's the store work? You piece of garbage.
He's got you there.
Listen, I'm never gonna win this fight. I can still throw punches when I can.
Patreon.com/reviewing history. There's a lot of fun stuff there. Check it out. But that's it for this episode, guys. You want to say bye?
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so
Anybody
much.
got an aspirin?
Get him, probably.
Get him,
does.
man.
I want to give a big thank you,
The
everybody
one thing you won't
listening.
have.
Want to give a big
Yeah. He's got green dildos he breaks out periodically, but not fucking an aspirin.
I want to give a big thank you to everybody listening and or watching. We greatly appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, help us grow the show.
I don't know, man.
Shoves them up his ass. What else is he gonna do with them?
I guess that is the no-brainer answer.
Yeah.
Occam's razor says that must be what he's doing. It's the path of least resistance. There might be some resistance.
Likes.
Depends how much he does it.
Yeah. Maybe he's hammered out all that resistance by now.
Uh, like, subscribe, share, tell a friend. Please help us grow the show. Greatly appreciate you all listening. Want to give a big thank you to Tell 'em Steve, Dave, Bry, Walt, Q, get him last record down in the studio. We greatly appreciate it. Follow me personally on all social media at RVUHistoryPod on Twitter, at RVUHistoryPod on Twitter, Reviewing History Pod everywhere else. Follow me personally on all social media at Brian Rupert. That's with 2 P's. Follow me on Letterboxd and rank review every single movie I watch, even the ones in my personal life. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.